Welcome to Deep Thought, the real scary black man image. Right? And I'm going to tell you what, it's a very subtle image of black men. And it's not necessarily, it's rare that you see it in movies and stuff or the obvious programming. I talked about like media programming, but you'll see it in like some of the most interesting places. Like I was thinking about a few black male characters I seen in some comic books. And y'all know I don't have a problem admitting I still get comic books, and I focus more on the adult stuff. And I was thinking about a character in like one character I was thinking about. It was a villain named Ice Cold. And he was a brother, definitely, tall, muscular, handsome, all of that stuff, but highly intelligent. But he had an interesting thing. He was a hitman, but he had when he had his private dialogue, his conversation was all proper and everything. But when he talked, he said, I purposely speaking of urban vernacular in order to inspire conflict because of the inner rage within me, And I thought about that. I was like, I actually liked that because it's interesting because when he was actually talking, he talked like he was straight hood and stuff. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. But then I thought about this other book. And, of course, these are comics from independent publishers, independent black publishers, right? And, yeah, that's a thing. And then it was, a character. It was called The Crush. And this dude was a psychologist, and he was a vigilante, specifically get out his violent tendencies. And I was like, same thing. Big, tall, handsome, muscular dude, highly intelligent. And I thought about some other images I saw like that. Like I've talked about, people who know me know I frequently quote from the Midnight series, from this quote from the Midnight series by Sister Soldier. And if you look at that character, tall Sudanese Muslim, chocolate brother. And, it's like, And for most people who ain't a fan, he would be scary because this dude was a fighter, but he was sharp mentally. And I was like, And I only seen one time when that image was, I seen a couple times when that image was promoted by maybe a white writer or something. And one was Michael Straczynski. It was a character he presented. He was character was called Nighthawk. And dude was, he basically went through the same origin as Batman. His parents were killed, but by white supremacists. And, so he had something, this character, hero had something against white supremacists. And I was like, oh, okay. But that, the writer of it, Michael Straczynski, he's more in that subversive type of stuff anyway, And I thought about those images, and I'm like, the media, for all it does, it's rare you see that image. And I thought about why would that image be scary? But think about it on many levels. Right? Think about it on many levels. These guys were, obviously black men on some mandingo stuff physically, but highly intelligent. Think about the combination. Because usually, let's be real. Let's just be real. A big thing that people have against black men is trying to see them as like beast of burden and everything. But a scary image is a physically imposing black man who's also highly intelligent. It's an intimidating thing because he's hitting them on two different levels. In fact, I remember it can even hit other black men on another level. And some people say you're talking a lot about race, but look, we got to think about some stuff. We got to be real on it. I remember I did a video on my men's channel called the Genius Bruiser video. And I used my thumbnail was of Captain Benjamin Sisko from the TV show Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And I said, yeah, you got some men who are physically intimidating, but also highly intelligent. And in fact, it's hard to see that image in the real world, on any media or something. because there actually existed a prototype for that. That was Paul Robeson, the legendary Paul Robeson. This dude was physically imposing, but talented, but highly intelligent. Highly intelligent. You know? And I'm like, wow. And that's an image, but you don't see that. I mean, even when you see that image in movies now, it's still something that softens that image up. You know, it's still something that tries to come at it or try to give a message to that image. Or usually when you do see that image, the man's playing like a criminal or something. So it's that subtle thing of, yeah, if that guy's like this, yeah, he's cool and everything, but he's still a criminal. Images, Ghost from the TV show Power. Stringer Bell from the TV show The Wire. You know? So I'm like, yeah, now that's an image that you ain't going to see as much, or they'll do something to say, oh, no, well, it's a bad apple. But it's rare to see that image of that guy just kicking ass on a legal way. In fact, I remember sometimes when you even got that type in the real world, they have an issue with it. Because I remember they were talking about this. It was a brother. I can't remember his name, but he was real sharp. And they were writing about him, and I forgot what he did, but I noticed the writer of the article tried to jump in on him, tried to go in on him a bit, like subtly. And I was like, because this be the type of guy, like, you know, in this early days of having computers and stuff, this dude would have 3 computers up just looking at different news items and stuff. Very sharp mentally. And, you know, but that's the real scary one. Isn't that? I'm going to tell you what. The scary image isn't of like that black man who's out here being a thug, being a gangster. That's not the image. That's not the image that scares people. Ready for that. In fact, they try to project that image. You know, they try to project it even to the point where a lot of black men will soften their appearance in way, how they behave, even their tone of voice. But that's not scary. Society's ready to deal with that. But the real nightmare is that one who got all that, but his intellect is on that level. And he's sharp. And not just on a book smart, you know, he got all A's in school, but a thinker. But also that physical part. That image is scary. That image is scary. You know? And that's like one of those images the media ain't going to show too much. Like I said, I've seen it. It's subtle. You'll see it maybe in some books by black authors. Comic books from very small companies. But there's always something that's like, let's try to kill that image. Indeed, I've seen some shows where they would have a black male character, but they'll try to do something to try to lessen his potential impact. I've seen that a few times. You know, I've seen that a few times. So it's something to really think about, because what would that image do if he showed that image of that physically imposing black man who's also highly intelligent? What would that image do to society as a whole? Like, you have young black men, they say, oh, wait a minute, he okay, he's physical, he look like he can play ball, but he also sharp. I want y'all to think about that. That might be the one type of programming you're not going to see, or very little of it. Or they, like I say, they'll do something to sharpen the blow. They'll do something to sharpen the blow, you know? So I want y'all to think on that. Like I'm saying, like when you do see it, it's usually a criminal. I remember they had Andre Bauer playing in the show The Thief, something like that. And I was like, why would they have a sharp brother like this playing a thief? Think about it. Think about it. All right? So, anyway, that's all I got for now. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.